All right, hey everyone. Hello again. My name is Tom, and welcome to our latest segment of UNC Talks. The subject today will be Greeley, Colorado, and student life. Our great panelists today are going to talk to you about a little bit about what they do on and off campus. So it should be pretty cool today. So let's just have them introduce themselves first before we get started with questions. So why don't each of you go ahead, say your name, talk about what keeps you busy, and then also talk about what you like to do on your free time. So I'll start. I'm your moderator, Tom, and my majors are business and art. And I'm involved with organizations like Marketing Club, and I work as a tour guide, as an art history tutor. And so one of my favorite activities to do outside of that is I really like to bike on the Pooh River Trail. And they actually just made that connect to Fort Collins, so I'm going to try to make that big, long bike ride up there at some point. Let's go to Dylan.
All right, so my name's Dylan. I'm a junior journalism mass communications major. I spent a lot of time at the UNC Mirror as the sports editor, as well as also a student ambassador for the university. So I spent a lot of time working with students, and then right now I'm also the sports editor, like I said. So I spend a lot of time around sports, and that really is my favorite thing to do right now, is just get to as many sporting events as I possibly can, from soccer to Quidditch to football. Really anything I can really get to, I make sure that I am there. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, Ray, how about you go ahead next? Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Ray. I'm a senior theater studies and history major. I also work for admissions, with being a student ambassador, but I also work for one of the cultural centers here on campus, Asian Pacific American Student Services. So mostly my free time, when I'm not both dedicated to those two jobs, I'm doing a lot of stuff with Hula and Hawaii Club and working with those two organizations. But besides that, I really like going dancing, so that's the thing that I do whenever I can.
Sounds great. All right, Brandon, how about you go ahead?
All right, so I'm Brandon Miller, and a little bit about what keeps me busy right now. So I am the student trustee on Student Senate, and kind of my job is, as chair of clubs and organizations, is one big pretty half of it. I actually have to facilitate the chartering of every club and organization on campus. So right now I think we're at like 113. So if anyone out there is worried about finding something to do when they come to UNC, you're going to find something, trust me. It's actually, I know, I really enjoy it. I really like student leadership and anything to do with that, and just helping people be able to, be their best within their club or whatever they do. It's just really my pastime. Other than that, I pretty much spend almost all my time at the rec center or in any sort of gym. As anyone who's ever lived with me will tell you,
Sure.
I probably spend too much time there, but you can find something.
All right, perfect. And how about next? Let's just go Allison, then Mark, and then Carlette. How about you just all go right after each other like that?
I'm Allison Hamling, and obviously not a student. I'm the director of Downtown Experience for the Downtown Development Authority in Greeley, Colorado, and that basically means doing all the marketing and events for our downtown area. And that amounts to usually about a 70-hour week or so. One of the things I really like to do best is torture my minion interns and see how hard I can make them work. I love my UNC interns. We give them a great experience. In my free time, I'm the mother of 2 grown daughters who are also both happily employed graduates of UNC. And other than that, free time. What is this free time he speaks of? I don't know what this free time thing is. Nope, we love it. We love our relationship with UNC here in this community. Mark?
Hi, I'm Mark Caringi. I'm a recreation, tourism, and hospitality major. I'm a senior. I do work with Allison down in downtown Greeley, helping out Friday Fest and upcoming weekend Oktoberfest. Come on down. On my free time, though, usually in the winter, I'm a big fan of skiing, so I find myself in the mountains a lot, or either downtown Greeley or Fort Collins having fun.
Cool. My name's Carlette. I'm a senior recreation, tourism, and hospitality major. I've spent most of my summer with Allison doing Friday Fest, so that's been really cool. I work for student employment at the financial aid office, so here in Carter Hall. I also was a part of the Residence Hall Association, as well as the National Residence Hall Association, or National Residence Hall Honorary, and I'm also a member of Alpha Omicron Pi, a sorority here on campus as well. So I spend a lot of my time in between all of these things. Free time isn't a thing.
No.
Awesome. Sounds good. And yeah, Friday Fest, great thing to do. I love that, by the way. So good job, guys. We'll go ahead and get started with the questions. Let's go ahead and start off with a question for Carlette, Ray, and Mark. Let's say, what are some of the best ways to develop a network of friends when you're at UNC?
Well, I would say just open up to every single person you meet. I like every single person you meet. You get down their number, find out where they're from. Just make sure they know, like, when they meet you, like, you're full out trying to become friends with them. Like, you want to actually have connections, like, by the end. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd say it.
Yeah, definitely. And by doing that, you just want to get involved, find something that you find in common, join a club, and then once you meet people there, like, that's just how you get started.
Yeah, just like they said, just make sure you get involved. I know if I wouldn't have gotten involved on campus, I wouldn't have had the amazing opportunities I've gotten over the 4 years I've been in UNC. So making sure you get involved and making friends, know your RAs and your roommates really well, and just making sure you have a club that fits you.
Very good advice. I definitely agree with that as well. So the next one, how about one for Ray, Brandon, and Dylan? What kind of events does the university put on? Since Brandon's right here, let's go ahead and start with him.
So one of the things that I always love that UNC puts on that I go to pretty much every time they do it is Taste of UNC. So it's kind of just a big, almost a joint outreach community thing where they bring in local businesses and just anyone that wants to go, and there's free food and you can learn lots of different things about Greeley and UNC. It's, like I said, free food is the best thing that you can do there. But I don't know, I think I met a lot of people through that. Honestly, doing anything to get involved and just meeting anyone, doesn't matter what UNC puts on, finding something that's going on campus, which you can find something, really just the best thing.
Awesome. And then let's go next to Ray and then Dylan on that one.
Yeah, so I know that if I'm not planning an event, I'm going to an event. We have a bunch of really awesome organizations that help to make sure that you have a lot of stuff going on. All our cultural centers on campus are doing an event at least once a month. There's the University Program Council, which do things like the mic nights. There's they plan the spring concert. Homecoming week is a big part of that too. And then the Residence Hall Association does things like homecoming dance. Bellagio, we had a big event called Northern at Night, which happens at the very beginning of the school year, so there's a lot of stuff always going on.
And then I like to try to get to lots of different kind of events, from cultural events to athletic events. One of the cool ones that the athletic department puts on every year is the annual Bears Bash, which is an opportunity for freshman students or younger students to come in and meet athletes from the volleyball team and the football team and meet the coaches, and just kind of have it's a bear bash over in one of the parking lots, and they just grill all day and they have hamburgers, and then right after that you go see the first football game, and then you go see the first volleyball game of the year, and it's just a lot of fun to just be a part of, and everyone's it's one big campus just moving around from building to building, just going to party basically.
One other thing that I forgot to mention too is a lot of things you'll see that are going on campus, you might think, oh, well, that's not for me, or I can't go to that. Especially if they're put on by clubs. Actually, any event put on by a club on campus is open to anyone that's a student here. So if you see something, even if you're not a member of the club, or if they're going on a trip, or something that you think you'd be interested in, you can go, because they're open to everyone, even if you're not in the club. So another great way to meet people, see if you want to join, you can go.
I actually remember passing up a lot of, freshman year, passing up a lot of these little barbecue things happening, and then someone say, oh, why don't you go to that? And I was like, I don't think I was supposed to. And then, yeah, I'm glad I missed opportunities.
Yeah, it's
All right, so let's go to our next question. This one's for Allison. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the events that the city of Greeley puts on?
There's a long answer to this question. People used to say, oh, there's nothing to do in Greeley, and when you really start looking at it and putting it together, there's so much to do, and if you are saying that there's nothing to do, then you're just not paying attention. We do First Friday art walks. They're every first Friday of the month. They're established by the Creative District, great for artists and art fans. We have about 20 different galleries that participate, and each month they do a new show for a new artist. So if art is your thing, and a lot of those things are in some of the pubs and stuff downtown too, some of the galleries. So that makes a really fun event. We have a holiday parade and a festival of trees. We have a St. Patrick's Day parade and a Blarney on the Block Go Cup activity. And our Go Cup is a very special district we have downtown where it's kind of New Orleans or Vegas style, where you walk around outside with your beverage if you are 21 or over. We have 5K runs seem to be going on like almost every weekend. They're just always out there, those people that run, are crazy people. We have, there's a lot of UNC athletics for people in town to go to, not just students, but the town is very supportive as well. We do a May Play Festival. We have our Friday Fests, which is our Go Cup thing, and with a free music and concert every Friday night from May through September. And we do like 22 of those. So, live band, live music, great community activity. We have fire spinners and street performers that come down. That goes on all summer long. Gives you a good reason to stay here during the summer. We have neighborhood nights movies in the park, about 6 of those throughout the summer. The Greeley Blues Jam, the Greeley Stampede, the Greeley Arts Picnic. We have My Favorite Bands Festival, Agriculture Fest and Feast. The Island Grove Event Center always has something going on especially for special interests. Like, I'm not a dog person, but they have dog shows there all the time that people like to go and just check out all the dogs. We have the state-of-the-art Civic Center here that has Broadway shows and a prestigious Philharmonic. It's actually the oldest Philharmonic west of the Mississippi. And there's just like always something to do in Greeley. We're always putting on festivals, and we put out a newsletter that tells you what's going on every weekend. It's easy to subscribe to, and it'll keep you busy and keep you informed.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely a thing that it's always a little frustrating to hear someone say that it's nothing to do, because there's quite a bit, and thank you guys for that. Next, we'll ask what kind of clubs are available on campus, and how do I get involved? And Brandon, this is a great question for you.
So trust me, like there is a club for, if you can imagine something that you like, there's probably a club for it, and if there isn't, it's really not that hard to start one. One of the best ways to get involved for at least incoming students in the fall would be going to the Fall Involvement Fair. It happens every year. I always get emails about clubs asking, like, what can I do to get new members? How can I advertise my club more? And I always say go to the Involvement Fair. They can sign up. They usually get a table. There's tons of different clubs there. You'll find something. Like there's club sports, or there's actually a cosplay club that does everything with, actually the cosplay school is Stitchcraft. They're pretty great. They're going to be putting on a sort of zombie run, almost zombie tag sort of event soon. There's really just so many. Honestly, if you can't find something, you can make it. Honestly, so.
Is there any club in particular that just strikes you as like a really interesting or unusual one?
Let me think for a second. Really, there's so many. French Club is actually pretty great. They do, even if you're not, like, let's say you want to go to France, but you can't afford to go. They do actually a trip pretty much every year where they go down to Denver and they go to the museum and they go look at French displays and they kind of immerse themselves in sculpture. And I think they usually always speak French. So I mean, if you don't want to speak French, that's fine. But there's so many ways you can experience things that you might not think about originally. Honestly, every club that exists, I think, is so great in their own way, just because they all do different things and they all do it really well. If they have the passion and the ambition to start the club, run the club, they always do it effectively. Really, any club is great.
Perfect.
Then
Then,
that was a bad one.
Carla, you want to add something to that as well?
Yeah, sure. There's basically, like Brandon said, there's pretty much a club for everything on campus. There are clubs for languages, there are clubs for your major, there are like clubs for like random things. I have a friend who's we're chartering a new club to hike 14ers. So like the plan is that you'll be able to hike all the 14ers in Colorado if you stay in the club for the 4 years that you're here at UNC. So that's really cool. There really literally is a club for everything though. Like there's a anime club on campus as well, So there's like really anything that like sparks your interest, there's a club for that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Another thing is, if you see a club that might not have anything to do with your major, you can still join. They're open to any student on campus. Doesn't matter if you're a business major and you want to go to a club that's primarily focused around teaching, you can do it. It doesn't matter what your major is. They're open to every student. You can join any club you want. It really doesn't really matter if you study that or not.
Awesome. So our next question, let's direct this one to Dylan, since it's all about sports. What is it? What are tryouts for the sports like? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So though there's different kinds of tryouts for different kinds of sports. So I'm going to use hockey as an example because they just finished their tryouts just a few weeks ago. You get in contact with the coach or the president of the sport, whichever sport of hockey it is, and that particular student is probably, or that particular president is probably a student. Most of the presidents of most of those clubs are just students, and so you just get in contact with them, let them know, like, hey, I'm interested in joining. How can I go about that? What do I want to do? This is what I do. This is what I can. This is what I can bring to the team, and the coach can help you out with that, and you get in contact with the coach as well, and then there's fees for trying outs and whatnot, but once you're in the club, most of the clubs will try to get as many people as they can because there's your Division I sports, which require a lot of different things, lots of variables into getting into those, and then there's intramurals, where that's just me and Tom want to put together a team, so we get together a group of people and we have our own team, and then there's club teams where they still travel around, they still go from here to Fort Collins to Pueblo, all around the state, and so there are still aspects of it that they still need to put together a team. You're still representing the university, so the tryouts there are still like they're at anything like you would see from your average recreational sport that you would want to join. You go through standard tryouts like a practice, and yeah, once you're in the club, it's all about being a part of the team and bringing your own specialties to the table.
Awesome, thanks, Dylan. Let's see. Let's have this one go to Ray. All right, Brendan, you start, and then we'll go to Ray after. What are clubs and activities are best for building your resume?
So personally, I think really any club you join, if you have the desire to be involved in more than just your academics, especially if you want to go into any leadership positions in any club, really anything you do that's extracurricular that shows you've learned, a lot more than what you just learned in the classroom. It really will help you in immense ways. But specifically for resume building, I would say target clubs that might have a pretty large member base. Helps a lot with networking. I've run into people that have been in. I'm actually involved in Greek life, and I was working at a hotel 2 summers ago, and one of the guests there, who was from Texas, was actually also in my organization. So really, anything that has a large member base is really good for resume building because you get those connections. Anything that has any sort of a leadership position that's available to be in is good. Anything professional or academic that might, enhance your college learning is good. And really, just being involved is just a really great resume booster in and of itself. There's so many things I've learned from being involved that I would not have learned any other way. And honestly, it's probably going to make the difference.
Absolutely. It's I really done a lot of my grades and experiences have been actual experiences, like getting my hands dirty with something, and that's really just a great way to learn. So, Ray, why don't you add on to that?
Yeah, I had a wonderful opportunity when I first started here as a freshman to join the Residence Hall Association, and that was what I spent the past 3 years doing and establishing myself that way. So the Residence Hall Association basically is the largest student-run organization in the world. It has students from everywhere, going from places such as like here in Colorado to all the way in South Africa. We have students who will participate and do conferences, be on a board. You have these things called community councils in your hall, which will do programs, and it's like a great way to like start getting your foot into leadership positions if you've never gotten a chance to do it before you go into college. And just making sure that if you do whatever organization you do join, making sure that you just have those chances to be fully immersed and involved in that organization or that club, because even if you're a part of, let's say, the anime club, if you're on the leadership board and you make that experience the best experience you can be, and like if you're like, I joined and there was like 10 members but now we have like 30 members, those are always really important things to make sure you like mention and like put down when you're talking in interviews and stuff like that, just because all opportunities you have here on campus can be used on your resume.
Awesome, thanks. So let's go to another one. So another one about sports. What are game days like, and what does a ticket cost to get to the game? So Dylan, why don't you go ahead and answer this one as well?
Sure. So for students, actually, as long as you have your little UNC card, you get into most every game for free. Actually, every game for free. If you want to bring a family member, it'll be an additional like $15 for football games, $8 for volleyball and basketball games. Those are pretty cool. I brought my parents to a few games. They really like it up here, but most of the time it's just me and my roommates going to all kinds of different games. And so it's free for us to get in. And I remember thinking back to my freshman year. I'd be having breakfast in Holmes around 8 in the morning on a Saturday. You know, everyone's miserable, tired. You know, we just finished a week of school, and all of a sudden you see the marching band come walking by, and you're like, "Oh, what's going on? There must be something going on." And all of a sudden they come flying through the dining hall doors, and they start blasting the fight song right in your ear, and you're just sitting there eating your bowl of cereal, not really know what's going on. And yeah, and then you just follow the marching band wherever they're going, because whatever it was, they wanted your attention, and you end up in the parking lot in Nottingham with just hundreds of people just everywhere, having just tailgating parties, and they're playing all kinds of different games, and so you just, all of a sudden you're just immersed into the campus like that, and it makes you want to stay, and so you do, and your friends, you'll find something to do. The next week you'll be prepared, and you'll bring your own truck full of a barbecue, and you'll be sitting there barbecuing and tailgating just like everyone else. And then from there, you know, you can just see a lot of great different things at the football games, and be with friends and be with students, and that's when you truly feel like you're a part of one campus. You're yelling and screaming next to people you just met, you know, just minutes earlier, and so yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you can go, you know, that's football games, but basketball games are probably one of the most popular games to go to. Also, the Bank of Colorado Arena really has a lot of great things that have just been updated with new video boards and new floorboards, and so it looks beautiful in there. And then you go in there, and you're a part again of that connected campus. And then you can go as far to the Ice House and see incredible hockey games with our club team. And you're like I said, you just always feel like you're a part of something when you're surrounded by other students just cheering on your UNC colors.
Yeah, it's definitely great advice found in marching band. Similarly, just like one thing I learned is to always also, you know, read the bulletin boards and read what's going on around campus and all that kind of stuff, because that's really how you figure out about all of this stuff and not, you know, pass it up. All right, let's do another one. Mark, how about you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what downtown Greeley is like?
Oh, all right. Yeah. Where do I start? We have so much down there. We start at the Moxie Theater every single week. There's other groups coming in and out, like Small Time, Big Time. Who did I see? Run DMC was there once. There's so many restaurants you can go to. The Stuffed Burger, absolutely delicious burgers. What's it called? The Rio, like I said before, Right Crust Pizza. And there's like so many places you can get a drink. Oh, it just goes on and on. And with help of Allison, every single weekend during the summer, you would have Friday Fest. So when you stay here next summer, yeah, have a good time. My bad.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to another one. Actually, Carla, do you want to add anything else to that? Is there anything you thought of as well?
Yeah.
We also just have a lot of art going on in downtown Greeley as well. So we have a lot of like displays, as well as like galleries that are open as well. So we have a lot of music also going on, like in the breweries and in the bars as well, and in the restaurants too. The Mad Cow will open up and have like somebody performing there, usually on Friday nights as well. So that's really cool. And then there's also like game nights that happen at some of the bars. There's trivia nights as well. Armando, who's a local artist here, he's a UNC alum. He will like do like some sort of like cocktails and like painting night thing. So that's really cool.
Yeah, Armando is amazing. Really good stuff there. I'm a painter myself, so I really admire that kind of stuff. But let's go to another one. So, are there any good places to enjoy the outdoors, and what are some examples? Allison, how about you start us off with that one?
Sure. Depending on how far away you are, you might not even know, and this is important to note that we celebrate about 300 days a year on average of sunshine. So the outdoor opportunities are there all the time. I mean, we had a couple of rainy days this last May, and then the whole rest of the summer we never had to cancel or postpone one single outdoor thing we had scheduled because the weather was just dynamite. It was incredible. So we have the Poudre Valley Trail, and it's 21 miles of paved pathway for walking, biking, running, rollerblading, anything you want. It starts just a little north of downtown, and actually you could take it all the way to Windsor area, and then eventually all the way to Fort Collins. So that's a great trail to have some fun on, and they have a Poudre River Challenge every year. We have 21 interconnected bike paths, 50 miles of bike lanes in Greeley, and 38 parks. And those range everywhere from playground to skate park to open spaces. We have 4 wildlife areas and 3 golf courses to note as well. So there's plenty to do outdoors. And then we're just really a spit away from the mountains. I mean, a half hour down the road and you're heading into the foothills right there into the mountains. So really easy to get to.
Absolutely, it is a really nice place indeed. Let's see, Ray, do you want to add on anything to that as well?
Yeah, sorry, I had to think for a second. Yeah, it's like about an hour away from Estes Park, which is really awesome, just being able to be just right in the mountains and doing those types of things. And then just walking around Greeley and around UNC, it's really nice because it's not such a big bustling city like Denver and like a lot of surrounding areas in the metro area. So you get a chance to be around like bike trails and going camping. And then we have this really awesome thing on our campus called Outdoor Pursuits, where you can go and rent skiing equipment, bikes, you can rent canoes and kayaks and like all these cool outdoors things to go out to the mountains and to different parks and stuff like that. And they do different hosted events that are just small amounts for students throughout the year, where you can go horseback riding or they do ski trails. This year is the first year that they've launched going on a trip to Peru, which is really cool. So they're seeing how this works out for this year and seeing if they want to keep doing more trips overseas like that. So there's a lot of ways for you to get involved with outdoors.
Yeah, something else that they do there is pretty much, like, let's say you want to go skiing, but you hear everything about Colorado is skiing. I've actually never been skiing because it's expensive, but they actually offer a class there, which I believe you actually get a credit for, and they'll take you up there, they'll rent the gear for you, they'll teach you how to ski. It's just really a blast. They handle the transportation. It's really not that expensive. You can do pretty much anything you can think of through Outdoor Pursuits.
Awesome, yeah. I agree. I love that thing. I wanted to go on the Peru trip so much, but I'm graduating December, so well. But Rocky Mountain National Park day hike, super fantastic, great price. I definitely encourage going checking those guys out.
It's a blast.
Yeah. Let's see. So how about this one? Good one for you. If I don't have a club, you kind of mentioned this already, but if I want a club and it doesn't exist yet, can I start that, and what's the process like?
Definitely. So I'm not going to go through the entire process. There's kind of a lot of stuff that's on the website as well. Pretty much, you have to have at least 3 members, because one of the requirements to have a club is you have to have 3 officers, so like president, vice president, treasurer. So you have at least 3 members that can fulfill that, and they have to be enrolled in, I believe it's at least 1 credit hour at the university. You also have to have an advisor, which has to be a full-time faculty member. A lot of people go to the professors. Even if it's not an academic thing, they can find a professor to be their advisor. It's not that hard. A lot of professors like doing advising. Another thing is you have to submit, it's pretty much a constitution or bylaws. It's kind of like detailing the operations of the club, what the duties of the officers are, what the advisor does, how you can select a new advisor if your advisor retires, kind of just all details of how your club operates. And you have to also fill out an online form. It's not that hard. It's really all about contact info, who your advisors are, or who your advisor is, who your officers are, making sure you have all that to go. And actually, Carla mentioned the 14ers Club. I actually am also friends with the guy that started that, and he pretty much got it up and running and got the members, I think, in less than a week. So it's really not that hard. I've had a lot of people come to me saying, hey, I want to start a club. And I say, great, here's the requirements. And they're like, that's it? And I'm like, yeah. it's really not that hard. I think it's a great thing anyone can do if they want to.
Yeah, and that really shows a lot of self-starterness, which a lot of you see on resumes a lot, like they want to prove to be a self-starter.
Definitely another good thing. If you can say, hey, I founded this club, and from that time on, we did this event, or we grew by this many people in our membership, or anything self-starting leadership-wise is also a great thing for a resume.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to another one. Yeah. So Ray, what do you what do the RAs kind of do for fun and for the students in the residence halls? Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, so your RA is mainly there not only to make sure that students are being safe and that everything's going okay with you and your roommates, but your RA also throws on a lot of programs to make sure that you can meet different people in your hall. So my freshman year, my RA always would throw like craft nights and do like coloring circles. So we would like go downstairs every like week and like go coloring and do like different like childhood activities just to break some stress. But your RA, almost every single week, your RA needs to do a program. There's weekend programs too that they do. So one time there was tie blanket. Another time I've seen RAs do tie-dye or taking students and having students do carpools to like doing laser tag. A really cool thing that happened about 2 years ago was that two RAs decided that students needed to see more stuff that happened in Greeley, so they did this thing called where they took students in groups and went to different places in Greeley, so like the Ice House they went to, Batter Up Cakes, they went to the Funplex, and wherever they could get to through using transportation, like the Greeley Transit, they did that, and if it was something later at night when the transit system doesn't run, they would just go ahead and carpool with other students to get to those places as well. So your RA is always going to be throwing some type of program for you, so you have those types of things. And then when like game season rolls around, there's always going to be the football game on the television, and there's going to be some kind of game day program wrapped around that. The Super Bowl is a huge turnout. There's always food at all these events, so you're always going to have something to do inside of your hall. And if it's not in your hall, you can always go to a different hall because they always promote those things too.
Yeah, there's definitely no shortage of free food in college, so yeah, just be on the lookout for it, and you'll find it pretty easily. So we'll go to the next one. Let's see. So how about Allison, Mark, and Carlett? You guys you kind of talked about it a little bit already, but just want to go a little more depth about maybe like the arts, entertainment, and not just downtown Greeley, maybe any part of Greeley. Just any more you want to say, or if you said it all, that's good as well. But I'll give you another opportunity to do it.
Okay, well, there's actually a very lively arts program here in Greeley. Just recently, as a collaboration between the university and the city of Greeley and the Downtown Development Authority, we were certified as an actual established creative district, which means we get extra tourism money from the state and tourism boosts as far as marketing, getting the name out there, and grant money. And the creative district committee actually has just started giving some small grants to artists who are going to do an inclusionary project. So that's maybe something that we would say somehow reaches out to or includes or encompasses a population that is traditionally underserved in the art arena. And the arts can be really anything. We have industrial arts, we have businesses like Distortions Unlimited in town. I don't know if you remember, they had a show on Travel Channel called Making Monsters. They're in our district, and so there's opportunities to do tours and stuff over there. We do the Hip Hop Madness. We help them with that, kind of introducing some of the kids from like the Rodarte Center into the hip hop dance field. So we have that wonderful collaboration and relationship between the university and the downtown district and the city, and they're all very supportive. And I will tell you that that's something that's really pretty rare with a lot of cities, to have that kind of cooperation and positive attitude towards developing things like that. So we're able to do things like we have mural projects that we do. There's a lot of murals downtown and some out in west of town. We have the Einstein mural and the Phoenix mural, and we have now the Art Alley, and it's an alley in between the 8th and 9th Streets downtown, and we have about 6 different artists who have taken on different sections of that alley and turned it into artist works and murals. We have the tree sculptures going on 8th Avenue, and part of that too is to help the pedestrian friendliness of 8th Avenue, which is kind of the corridor between the university and the downtown area, and we're putting more lights in to make it more pedestrian friendly for the students. We have a 1% for art program in the city of Greeley, so 1% of the tax revenue is actually has to be used for art projects through our very strong and active art commission that we have in town here. So between the university and the downtown and the creative district, opportunities for artists of all kinds, be it musicians, be it culinary arts, industrial arts, graphic arts. We have opportunities for anybody who is a creative in any kind of major to explore that creativity outside of the university setting.
Another thing is a lot of clubs do things with arts as well. Just like there's the Jazz Education Network, they're pretty great. They actually brought in, I can't remember his name, but he's actually a really, really well-known jazz musician. They brought him in to do a clinic, and then they also went down to Denver to go to one of his shows. So you can find any sort of arts anywhere, either through clubs and organizations, UNC or downtown. There's so many.
Yeah, no, there's something else too. She mentioned like that alley full of murals by artists. As an art major, I know a lot of my friends have gotten some really cool things in that. So really great opportunities for young artists, and just you know, I know a lot of them are putting on a show the end of the month, and then next month the like nerd stores having this cool little gallery of all nerd-themed art. That's gonna be a pretty cool one. And of course, Greeley just recently broke the world record for longest chalk drawing, which is really cool. So you can look that up as well. It's a really interesting thing.
And that was actually, I was here on campus right outside the University Center in the parking lot. It was pretty great.
Yeah, it's nice to see. All right, so to wrap up, it could be cool if we all have a lot of really great, you know, restaurant recommendations. So I thought if we could each go around and say maybe like top 3 or so favorite restaurants. For me personally, I really like, you know, Daruma for a cute little Japanese hangout. If I want more, just like if I'm really craving some authentic Mexican food, I really love La Fiesta or Los Comales for some really great tacos. And my college hangout place where I want to go with friends is usually Roma's. So I haven't.
You kind of took a lot of them. One thing that I will say though is Zoe's is probably the coolest coffee shop I've ever been in, and I've been a barista 2 different times, so it's probably the best place ever. I go there all the time. People go there to study. People go there just to hang out. They do things with the community too. They're actually going to host a job fair here soon. Really great place to go for coffee. As far as food goes, you kind of took all of them.
Sorry.
That's fine. They're really great though. Roma's is amazing. You'll probably hear everyone talking about Roma's all the time. But
yeah, and you guys can repeat too. For repeating, we'll just emphasize how great they are. So next, let's go to Dylan and then Ray. Tell us what your favorites are.
So I'm gonna stay really simple here, and I say that my favorite one is Chipotle, just because of how close it is to the campus. I used to work there, and I know a lot of people there. Most of the students most of the kids that work there are students. So yeah, it's a really cool vibe in there, and it's a great first date. It was actually one of the first places I came and brought my girlfriend when we came up here. So, but one of my favorite things to do is to go down to the Rio. Like Mark said earlier, the Rio is one of my favorite restaurants, and then right after that is we walk over right through downtown Greeley, just visiting people, hanging out with friends, and then we go right across the street to the Ice House and go watch a hockey game, and it's just a really cool date night.
Mm-hmm. My absolute favorite place to go is the Jaeger. They have the most amazing pizza in the entire world, and it's also a really great place that even if you're under the age of 21, you can still get in and like have that kind of relaxed feel. I just like the cool, like it has like a really nice vibe to it, and the pizza's amazing for a really good price. Probably after that would be definitely Daruma, because it's super close to campus and the sushi is amazing, and I'm a really big fan of sushi, so I was really excited to have the sushi place up here. And then Stuffed Burger is something that just came up here last year, and it's absolutely amazing. And I suggest that if you have a chance to go to it, you should go and get your burger on a donut, because it will change your life.
Yeah, I knew someone mentioned Stuffed. Amazing. I love their pretzel bun and just so many toppings they have. It's amazing. let's go. That brings us right to downtown. Why don't the three of you also mention your favorites as well?
Okay, well, I'll start. Of course, since my job is the downtown experience, pretty much all my favorite places are downtown. A couple of them are the Moxie, because I'm a musician and I love music and all kinds of music, and I love even being exposed to and turned on to different kinds of music that I wouldn't ordinarily probably hear if I didn't live near a university where there's more cutting edge kind of stuff. So I love the Moxie Theater. I also love the Crest Cinema and Lounge because it's a small independent theater, and it's just awesome. A lot of towns don't have that kind of theater with really comfy seats, and you can get, if you're 21 or over, you can get a drink at the bar or lounge and take it into the theater with you, watch the movie, and they get some really neat independent films and stuff there. But I do want to emphasize that just about Greeley in general, we just reached 100,000 residents, and I've lived here for 30-something years, but I will tell you that it still has a small town feel, and as a student, it's really easy for you to get involved in the community and reach out and get in touch with community leaders and have experiences that will be good resume builders for you, because our community leaders here are very accessible. We love interns. Internships are available all over the place. I absolutely adore my interns. They're wonderful. And you can really make a difference and really easily connect in this community. So I think that you will find that can work very much to your advantage. You won't be isolated as a student. You'll be embraced in the community.
Yeah, she's 100% right. Yeah, this place, I used to be a loner of dorms, and then I found myself finding downtown Greeley, and then finding out that Greeley is one of the best places to go to live, actually. But my favorite food place would have to be, I think, Moody's. The place is delicious. I had a burger there. It was absolutely phenomenal. Getting drinks at the Jaeger is pretty awesome in Rio. That's always a great time. And tacos y salsa, just go there, get a torta. Things are delicious, absolutely delicious.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I remember when Allison came into one of my classes as a guest speaker to come tell us about Oktoberfest, and I was like, that's what I'm going to intern with, one of my first internships here in Greeley, and that's what I did, and I love it. It's awesome. So yeah, definitely echoing what she said, just there's so many opportunities here in Greeley. Probably my favorite place to eat is the Mad Cow. It is so good. So good. And then also Moody's. Moody's has really cheap tacos. Yeah, those are really good. And then Batter Up Cakes is a cute little spot, actually right under our office. Yeah. So that's really cool. They have a special, and they do buy one, get one with your UNC student ID. So that's cool.
Awesome, yeah. And student ID, that'll get you not only lots within the university, but there's this thing called Bear Biz as well, which is a really great way to, it's kind of a university and Greeley partnership where a lot of these downtown places or just places around Greeley will give students lots of discounts. So check that out. They have a website as well, and of course UNC also gives out all these little coupon books that you can use as well.
They're pretty great. I kind of abuse mine a little bit.
Yeah, you can pick as much as you want. It's kind of nice, but so before we close, I just want to give you guys an opportunity. If any of our panelists had anything else they want to mention, is there anything?
You know, I'm just going to emphasize again: get involved in really just anything you can find that you want to get involved with. Get involved. Really, it'll help out your college experience so much. People always say college is about the experience. If I never got involved, I probably would not have had, really the best experience that I've had so far. Honestly, if I wasn't involved, I probably wouldn't have known about this, and I probably wouldn't have been on this. So it just really opens so many doors. Everyone will say it, but just you got to do it.
Absolutely. Let's go to Dylan and Ray. Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Just kind of following up on that. There's nothing more valuable than just meeting new people. The two of the 5 people that I live with now are the same people that I lived with in the dorms. They became my best friends, and we still hang out and we still do stuff together. And we plan on going to every home football game, every game we can get to. Anything we can do together, we still do it because there's a lot of just great connections that's created here through all the activities and all the clubs that we were able to just go together with and just go check out.
Yeah, college is like the one time where you can do basically whatever, kind of with figuring out how you want to deal with, like, how you want to live your life in a sense, and what you want to go ahead and take the steps and involvement process in, because I know sometimes you go in thinking you have it all together when you are a senior in senior in high school, going in as a freshman in college, but that journey can completely change through the 4 years that you're here in school. And just making sure to get involved and knowing those people. Like Carlette and I have known each other, and we lived in the same residence hall our freshman year, and we still know each other now and have been involved in a lot of the same activities and things like that. And so just knowing that, like, those connections and those types of different things always intertwine, and just making sure that you make the most of your experience, because 4 years goes by so fast. Even 5 years goes by so fast, even if you're here for an extra year. So making sure just staying involved and keeping up with people and making friends and getting out there. Just make sure your college experience is for you, because this is like the one time in your life you get to have this type of experience.
Thank you. I agree. We agree. Actually, Wolf said it definitely goes by very fast. So enjoy all those experiences while they're here. So let's go to our downtown guys. Do you guys want to close with any statements either?
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. Last thing I would say is really just try and have as much fun as you can until you start getting to the end, because it gets real stressful. Right now, just keep pushing. Keep working, and just make as many friends as you can. Absolutely make as many friends as you can.
Yeah. College is also like the most diverse time of your life. You're going to meet a lot of different kinds of people, and really just like get to know them and get to know all these different kinds of cultures, everybody that you can, and just take every opportunity that you get. Anything that'll get you to break out of your shell is a good thing. Like Ray said, we've known each other all 4 years of college, and that was just because we lived in the same dorm building, so that worked out really well. And just kind of come out of your shell a little bit and just explore. Exploring is a lot of fun.
And I'll just speak to the value of your time here. I'm in touch with most of my former interns through Facebook or email, and it's really a joy watching them all get out, and they're all finding jobs in their chosen fields. And it's very exciting for me to see that happen, to see them getting placed and fulfilling some of their dreams in life. So come see me for an internship. And, we'll help you kind of get on your feet. And as I said, both my daughters graduated UNC, and they're both very happily employed. And their experience here is what got them on their feet and got them their jobs where they're at now. And so them and my former interns have all had very positive experiences.
Well, thank you, everyone. You all were fantastic panelists, great information, and that wraps us up. So remember, if anyone did not have any questions answered, you can still submit some. We will get you answers answered through social media. So thank you all, and see you next segment.